We're not in New York anymore, at least not for the next few days. Hey, my name is Levi, and this is the Daily Drive podcast. Hi, as you can see, maybe you can't see, I am not in New York. I'm in hot, crazy hot Tucson, Arizona. And shout out to all the drivers and riders and passengers in Arizona, man. It's a beautiful place, but it is hot. I think it's like 100 and a million degrees outside right now. Um, Boy, this channel has had so much action so many new subscribers the last few months. I thought I'd just spend some time reintroducing myself, why I'm an Uber driver and what I'm trying to do with this channel. And I want to hear from you. So wait till the very end and just kind of listen to this, but let me know what I could do for you. Now, who am I? Well, my name is Levi Spires. I am a Tesla Model Y Uber driver in Syracuse, New York. I've been doing it full time. I've been driving for 5 years and 13,000 trips, but I've been full time for almost 3 years now. So 40 hours a week, 50, 60, a lot of time out of my house, scooting closer. So why am I an Uber driver? I think it's the first question I get all the time. Because people hear my story, they'll say like, "Oh, you're an accountant or you're an economist, and why are you wasting your time as an Uber driver?" And that's a fair question because reality is there's more money to be made elsewhere. But we can all of us, make more money doing something else. It doesn't matter what job you're doing, you can make more money. Elon Musk can make more money, and he's trying to. So why do a job that pays less than maybe what my skills offer is kind of maybe the question that people are getting at. Well, let me tell you the story how I became a driver. In 2020, I was in Vegas on a business trip, and I was complaining to my Uber driver, Bronislav. Shout out Bronislav. I was complaining about money. And now I was making good money, but I had 3 kids. I had a grandkid on the way, and my daughter was single at the time. And so I was like, oh, it's going to be so hard. And my Uber driver was just a good listener. And he had a solution. He said, Levi, he's from Croatia, and I don't have a Croatian accent, but he's like, Levi, you should be an Uber driver. You'll love it. And arrogantly, I was like, hey, dude, I don't know if you know this. I'm an executive at a company. I make good money. I was just pretty stupid. And he was like, trust me, you're going to be good at it. And so I took his advice. That weekend, I turned the app on. I did a little bit of rides on a Saturday night or a Friday night after work. And it was so much fun. And I did. I made $100. And I thought, this is great. So COVID hit, and I continued to be an Uber driver, just basically on my commute to work, making $100 to $300 a week. I did take some time off when the shutdowns happened, but whatever. But right around Thanksgiving, I realized I didn't want to spend my life in meetings, Zoom meetings. I didn't want to do any more traveling sales calls to other clients. I just didn't want to do any of that anymore. So I thought I could make a living as an Uber driver. I had some other work and I have other ways to make money, but I'm not rich. But I thought I'd take a chance on it. And so I told my boss and my friend Paul that I was like, hey, I think I'm done with this. I think I'm done working like this. And so I left and I started Uber driving, mostly part-time. Then I became a full-time driver as different revenue streams changed. And that's why I'm an Uber driver. And I could have gotten another job, but there's a thing. I don't want to sit in another meeting. I hate getting emails. I hate when clients call me. It's not that I don't like my clients and I don't like the work that we do. I hate that burden. See, the cool thing to me about being an Uber driver is the temporary nature of the work. I really do. Like right now, I'm in Arizona. I'm going to spend the weekend with my sister, and I don't have any looming work with Uber. I don't even have a reservation scheduled. I have nothing. There's no looming work. And when I want to become a driver again, I'll just turn it on and be a driver again. That's it. I love that. That's why, by the way, that's why I don't do private rides. I think private rides is a great way to make a lot of money as an Uber driver. And I also hate the fact that I have a client looming and it's frustrating. So I'm sacrificing money for more mental freedom. So I like the immediacy of the money. I like the access of my brain power to do other things. But the other part that I like about it is I like the stories. Okay, so this sociologist named Ray Oldenburg came up with this idea of first, second, and third places. And first place is your home where your family is and you love them, and you have a relationship with them. Your second place is your work, your colleagues. Let's say if you work in an office or a shop or whatever. Uber drivers, we don't really have this, but you kind of know what I mean. The third place is your friend group, let's say like at the golf course or a club or whatever it might be, quilting, so her quilting groups or whatever. But I think there's a fourth place where people and humans connect. That fourth place is where strangers connect, if that makes any sense. Let me explain it. See, all these other ones, you know everybody. But this fourth place, there are times when humans connect for a lot of reasons. Let me give you an example. A concert. All the people at that concert are connected, but they're all strangers. Like they're all celebrating and doing one thing at some point in time. I've heard sporting events can be like this at times. Another one for me, though, is an Uber. That's where strangers can connect. It's a great source material for being creative, and I love doing that. I love the stories that I get from meeting people as a rideshare driver. And if you're a driver and a passenger, you know what I mean. If you're a passenger, how many times have you gotten into an Uber and met an Uber driver and been like, "Ah, that guy or girl was really kind of neat. I really like their story." Or if you're a passenger, you got into an Uber and you start to tell the driver your story, and that driver just becomes a great sounding board, a place to vent. That's what makes it so great in the fourth space. So for me, I like the money. I think the second question I get from people is not why I'm an Uber driver, but they mistake my positivity as that I'm positive about the companies and the apps themselves. I'm not. See, I'm positive because I'm positive as by nature. I like being positive. I can't control most of the things in my life, so being positive helps me control my emotions, and that's a good thing. The apps suck. I make less today than I used to make. I'm not really happy with the way the companies treat us, but I'm not going to try to make this YouTube channel about ranting and raving. There's a lot of good channels out there that I enjoy that you can watch if you're interested in that. So, yeah, that's what it is. So, I wanted to be a writer and a creator, and that's why I came up with this idea of the Tip You in the App brand. Now, if you're an Uber driver, you know what I mean by Tip You in the App, but let me explain it to the passengers here. If you're a passenger or if you're a driver, a lot of times passengers will ask for favors, whatever the favor might be. And those favors are all good and warranted, and I understand all of them. A common one would be like, "Hey, I can't come outside yet. Just wait for me." And you're like, "Yeah, no problem. I'll wait." The person will come down and say something like, "Hey, thanks for waiting. I'll tip you. I'll tip you in the app." And the what us drivers hear when you say that as a passenger is that we're not going to get tipped. Now, a lot of people still tip us, but I think a lot of people just forget. I think a lot of passengers also abuse it. It'll happen like this. You'll be driving along and the passenger will say something like, "Hey, can you stop over at this gas station? I want to get some cigarettes or whatever. I'll tip you. I'll tip you in the app." That person is just abusing the knowledge that they have that, hey, a driver doesn't know if you're going to tip me. I have no knowledge if you're going to tip me. I just say yes, I'll drive over there and stop at that gas station, and I hope, I pray that you're going to tip me. So that's how I came up with the brand name of this channel, and I started creating videos, and for me, I started collecting more and more stories. That idea of the fourth space matters so much to me because so many passengers I've had connections with, and these are all temporary people that I'll never see again the rest of my life. But for a short, brief moment in time, we're on this journey together and we connect. And there's a lot of ways to connect, from they're having great highs or they're having great lows in their life to they're going to explain something technical to me that I've never heard before, or maybe they're passionate about a topic, whatever that topic may be, and you just get a chance to connect. Sometimes I get to tell my story. It's all fun. And I love being out in the city and just kind of seeing what's going on. I'm kind of like boots on the ground in the city. And yeah, that's why I created this channel. That's why I created all this. So So if you want technical content, I might do some of that. I might throw that on the membership side to it just because I like it, but I think a lot of people think it's boring. So, because technical to me means throwing up some spreadsheets. So if you want to see a lot of spreadsheets, let me know. I can analyze the heck out of stuff. Ways to drive is kind of interesting, but I want to produce more and more content that is about stories, the humanity of it all. I'll leave you with this final thought. I am a doomer when it comes to artificial intelligence. Have you heard that? I'm so worried about it because I don't think most humans understand what artificial intelligence is capable of doing today, much less what it's going to be doing soon in the future. And just because I drive in a college town, you get a chance to kind of be around really smart people who are researching these topics on a regular basis and just talking to them. And their vision for it is grand and Skynet sinisterish. They're not trying to take over the world. They're just trying to research something, but kind of like Oppenheimer researching the nuclear bomb. If they don't research it, somebody else will. So everybody's researching this thing that might take over humanity. And you start to hear things like soon there will be artificial intelligence on our phone that's smarter than every human combined that's ever existed. So all of humanity in one simple way to tell us knowledge. And then I start to think about my children and my granddaughter, and I'm like, well, what are they going to do in a world where knowledge is, everywhere? Like everybody has access to all this knowledge. Because right now, like if I'm an accountant today or an economist, I can be really smart and people pay you more for being smart, but that's not going to happen in the future. So what is it? And I'm in an industry right now as an Uber driver that is being, slowly undercut by companies like Waymo and Robotaxi and stuff like that, because a lot of passengers don't want humans. So here's this thing that I love, Uber driving, and it's like a source material for the writing and the creative work that I do. Artificial intelligence is coming in kind of nicking at it and slowly taking it away. So I worry about that a lot. And so this channel to me is about humanity, humans. I mean, I'll talk about robotaxi, I'll talk about things like that, but to me, it's you and me right here, eye to eye. So thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for being a part of this channel. Thank you for helping me push me forward to create more content. I think a lot of people go, "Oh, you're making money as a YouTuber," and it's kind of cool. I mean, you can make some money, not as much as you think. Your comments, your subscriptions, your likes, those things kind of push me forward. It's like you're engaging with it, which makes me feel good. And as a person that cares a lot about human connection, I super like it. I appreciate it. For the passengers out there, please be kind to your Uber and Lyft driver, your DoorDash driver, your gig worker. Tip them well, rate them fairly. And for my fellow drivers out there for 2025, I want you to drive your way. There's no right way to do it. There's good advice out there, there's bad advice, but you are unique. We're all unique as human. And I want each and every one of you to know that I care for you. I'm cheering for you. I want you to be safe, healthy, and happy. Bye.